Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Carnage Unleashed. As always, you got Kev and Clayton with me. How you guys doing?
Doing great, man. Doing great. Getting to the grind point of the semester, so my days are long, but hey, I'm almost done. Can't quite see the finish line, but there's a sign pointing to where it is. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yep.
Like we're almost there. Almost there. Kev, what about you?
I'm feeling something similar, Clayton, because as you guys know, but some of the folks at home might not, I have finished the regular season of Major League Indoor Soccer is over. So we did all of the home games for the Ohio Extreme. So that was pretty cool, to have that, cross that off the old career bucket list, producing live sports television for a pro network. But we have this weird lull where I get this, guys, in Ohio, they'll let anybody officiate weddings, even me. My only traveling gig so far this month, knock on wood, is a wedding here coming up. So I've been just kind of like, okay, I actually have free time to work on some projects. So the spring cleaning has really been breathing down my neck. I'm gonna have to get to that eventually, but I'm happy to be here. Had a long weekend full of all different types of fights. So, my time to shine will be at the very end of the show, folks. But I had a little more time than I normally do, was why I said all of that, to actually watch some of the last fight night. And I'll actually be able to watch most of UFC 300 too. Isn't that great, man? Wade, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing well. Just been busy with work. Yeah, we had my head department boss. He went and started his own business, so now it's just down to two of us in our um, unit. So it's been added work. So I just been busy, and then doing this on the side. So just grinding. But we
That is a
had a
grind.
good combative weekend of sports. We had UFC Vegas 90. Had some pretty good fights on there. That with that being said, it opened up with Melissa Dixon and Nora Cornol. Is that how you say it?
I think so. She's French. It literally it could be anything. I don't
It
know.
yeah, it could be. But there's a lot of talks about this fight. Like they're opening up with this. It's not going to be really that good of a fight. And I thought it was actually a decent fight. Nice little KO victory by Nora.
It was entertaining, man. Like at the end of the day, when you're trying to put together a fight card, the first fight is arguably the most important fight of the night, in my opinion. Because
Hmm.
like if there's some snooze fest at the start, like people could be like, "Oh, this is dumb," and then just turn it off. Not the case here, man. That
No,
was that was a fun one to watch. It was a nasty knee that started off the combo. It was good. It was fun.
yeah, I agree. Really good. And then that went into Dylan Bucka. He had his UFC debut. Um, to be honest, I was disappointed in his performance because I know he could do so much better. Um, but hey, he's young, so he can come
Yes.
back stronger than ever. He's learned from it. So, what do you guys think?
Overall, I just wish Dylan would have thrown more. He's a
Yes.
wrestler. He's got a great wrestling base, but if he would have thrown more when he took Almeida down, I think that would have helped a little bit. But, like we said, Dylan's young. Dylan's no like stranger to battling adversity. He lost his first amateur fight. He lost his first pro fight. Came up
Hmm.
just short in a LFA title fight a couple months ago, back in June. He'll learn from this. He'll be back stronger than ever. Hopefully this summer. That'd be fun.
Yeah,
Some
that
point
would
this
be.
summer.
Yeah, I think it's just he has to get to that first fight jitters out, and then he just comes back on a tear. So,
Yep.
yep, just the one thing I say, work on damage, and
Yes.
he creates damage, and he's gonna be a force to reckon with.
Yeah, I agree. I'll kind of just echo everything you guys said. And it's interesting because when we get to the main event, I'll kind of be talking about that same thing, talking about doing some of that damage when you do get those takedowns and making sure that it's counting for something. Because we saw that in some of the main event takedowns at this fight night where takedowns weren't really scoring for anything because it was just a quick change of position. There was some great defense involved in that fight as well from Curtis. But in this one, Yeah, I thought the first round was one of those where it's like, okay, I'm feeling pretty good about what Dylan's doing here, knowing he's got the ability to go for those takedowns. And I thought to myself after one round, okay, I think I know what kind of fight this is going to be. Obviously we
Mm-hmm.
kind of figured that the world-class kickboxer might want to stand up while the guy with the college wrestling background might want to take him to the mat. Like, I don't know that we were breaking any ground there. But I knew that Dylan, like you said, I knew Dylan could do some things on his feet, but it felt like going out of the first round into the second round, I was like, okay, if push comes to shove, Dylan's going to shoot. And yeah, I think where maybe, to echo what Clayton said, something that maybe could help is inflicting some damage during those takedowns and making your opponent work a little bit more. But no, I expect that Dylan will be back and better than ever. And some of that, like you mentioned too, Wade, could be first fight jitters. I have no idea. You would know better than I, Wade, what it's like to even get into the octagon. Hell, Clayton knows more because he does the in-ring interviews. I don't. I get in there once a month if Zach doesn't have anybody else to test some camera footage on before anybody's in the arena. So I don't know what a lot of this stuff is like. So I can't say whether or not if he would agree with us that some of it was a first fight feel, but I do imagine that now that this is business as usual, right now, he's got one under his belt, that I do think some of this will probably get a little bit easier for him. Also, just the anticipation. Here's a dude who got into the UFC taking a fight on 3 days' notice, was having the hardest time getting a fight booked from what we could hear. So I think, this could, in a way, could work out in Dylan's favor in a sense that it might not be as hard for him to actually get a matchup now. And he might be able, and be able to get something here on the books relatively soon, have 4 months to train for somebody and really get in there and whoop some ass. So shout out to Dylan. I think he'll be great. Can't wait to see his next fight. But yeah, those are my thoughts on that.
Yeah, I totally second all that. He's young. He's only been, to think about it, he's only been 2-3 years in MMA training. He's just been fast tracking, and he's really learning as he goes. So as long as he takes every failure as a lesson rather than a failure, he's gonna grow. He's got so much time to really develop into that championship fighter that we know he can possess.
Absolutely. But looking forward, are there any other big fights? Jermaine Durandamine lost a unanimous decision. Predicted that one, by the way, just so everybody's aware. That won me a couple dollars. Another entertaining fight that I honestly really enjoyed was actually the next one right after Dylan's. John Masamoto versus Dan Argueta, something like that. It was a fun fight standing up in the first round, and then Masamoto got him down and landed a guillotine with 1 second left in the second.
Dang, yeah, I missed that one.
Fun fight. Very fun fight. And then Court McGee versus Alex Morano. Those are two welterweight vets, guys that have been around for a while.
Yeah.
I think Court McGee won season 11 or 13 of the Ultimate. No, I think it was season 11. Season 11 of the Ultimate Fighter. And he's just kind of been around ever since. So he's 38. We're probably nearing the end of his reign. He got knocked out by Matt Brown back at UFC Charlotte last year. So
yeah,
definitely could be starting to see the beginning of the end. Ignacio Bahamades, you guys, y'all know at this point. I can't do this. Versus Christos.
That was a good attempt. Good attempt.
Crazy kick knockout there. That was fun to watch.
That was.
And then, guys, I'm not going to lie to you. The 49-46 in our main event, wrong. No.
I agree.
No. So, Brendan Allen walked away with a split decision over the action man, Chris Curtis, best friend and training partner of cult hero Sean Strickland. What are your guys' thoughts on that fight? Very, very competitive throughout.
I thought it was way, way closer than a 46-49.
Me too.
Yeah.
100%. It wasn't, I don't normally come off my fence, especially in this sport, to give my opinion. That was not a 49. No, like no way. That was not a clean sweep. Sorry, but go ahead, Wade.
No, I totally agree. When I heard that, I was like, what, who? They must have really scored every single takedown double for Allen.
Yeah, was that the judge that was sitting close to Allen's corner? Was he just
No,
listening to them? Because that
Must
was one of
have.
the things they were gassing him up all fight, maybe to his own detriment in that final round, because they're in his ear saying Curtis has to knock you out to win, which was not like, even if that was the case, I don't know, unless your guy is really gassed or he's hurt and you're trying to, what benefit do you have of saying all you have to do is survive this round to win? I feel like that's just asking for trouble in the first place. Also, I think it just wasn't true. It's one thing to be in your guy's corner, right? And say, hey, yeah, you got this. I love what they were saying early in the fight. It's mixed martial arts. Quit trying to box him. You can do whatever you want. Those kind of things I like hearing. But going into the final round up against a top 15 fighter in your weight class, are you really going to tell your guy, you've got this, he has to knock you out? Like, I just didn't think that was the right message. But anyway, sorry, Wade, back to you, sir.
No, it's great. Sometimes like you hear them in the corner and you're like, really, come on, just you need to shoot it straight to your fighter so they know the right mindset going into each round. Like, oh, they just got to knock you out. Because then that changes your game plan a little bit sometimes to where you're being more cautious rather than, hey, this is hairline anybody's game. I need to start making a little bit more chances, forcing the action a little bit more. It changes your game plan up a little bit. What do you think,
maybe
Clayton?
don't shoot for a takedown with 25 seconds left in the fight.
Yeah.
You know, you might actually go for broke there. But sorry, Clayton, what do you think?
Yeah, overall, very close fight. I wish Chris Curtis would have won. Chris Curtis just seems like a genuine dude. Like, you know what I mean? And if you guys don't know his story, give it a look. He retired from MMA multiple times until his son looked at him and was like, well, what are you going to do now? You're a fighter. And he was like, oh, shit, you're right. And he went back to it multiple times, finally took a short notice fight and got into the UFC. So ESPN has a great article on Chris Curtis, ladies and gentlemen. Give that a look. But overall, Brendan Allen calling for a title shot seems like a little much to me. Like, Whitaker's in front of you, Sean's in front of you. You could argue Paulo Costa's in front of you, Chimaev's in front of you. Like, no, wrong.
Yeah, I agree.
Not 7-fight win streak doesn't do it for you.
No,
they were pumping that.
Oh, you're fighting tomato cans. let's look up. Let's pull up his last 5 fights. I would love to know. Who has Brendan Allen beat? I'm pretty sure he got knocked out by Sean Strickland. That was his last loss. No, his last loss was to Chris Curtis. His last loss before that was getting knocked out by Sean Strickland. But so he beat Sam Alvey to start it, who was 0-8 in the UFC at that point. Jacob Malkoun, I don't even know who that is. Christoph Jotko, I believe he was just kind of a journeyman at the end of his career. Let's check that. 24-6, I guess. That's not bad.
Okay.
Who after that? Andre Muniz, don't know who that is. Bruno Silva doesn't know how to grapple. The fact that he submitted Paul Craig, I'll give that to him. Paul Craig has one of the best guards in MMA, and if you can submit Paul Craig, you did it right. So I'll give that one to him. And then Chris Curtis barely beat Chris Curtis. So I'm not buying the Brendan Allen hype almost as much as I'm not buying the Bilal Muhammad hype, but that's a rant for another day.
I might be with you on this one, Clayton. I had a hard time listening to that post-fight interview. I was like, I can't tell if I like this guy or not. Like, I think I love the confidence, but I felt like they didn't have a realistic outlook on how that fight went down. You know, like his reaction when I get it, but when he truly doesn't believe that was a split decision. Like, it just kind of blows my mind that he felt like he dominated that fight, when I'm of the opinion, guys, I'm not certain that Curtis popping his hamstring, whatever happened there that caused him to not be able to do anything in the final, 30 seconds to a minute of that fight. It really,
he was on his back for the most part, I think, at that point.
Yeah, I think that could have had a big impact. And two of these judges had it 2-2 going into the last round, which I think is correct. I honestly thought going into that it was anybody's fight. and it was going to be up to whoever set the tone and did the most damage, had that moment, right, that's going to win over the judges in that final round. So yeah, I don't know. There's always going to be a part of me when it comes to this fight that wonders if Curtis hadn't hurt his leg, does he get that win? Does one of those other two judges actually go ahead and does he have a flurry of strikes in those final 30 seconds where he gets the win? So yeah, I don't mean to take anything away from Allen, but I'm just agreeing with Clayton. I don't think he's the next. I don't think a title shot should be his next fight. I'm going to have to see something else.
No, I feel like he needs more proven top 5
Beat
guys.
Paulo Costa. Put your money where your mouth is. Paulo Costa is looking for an opponent at UFC 302. Fight Paulo Costa.
Yes.
If you really want to prove, in my mind, fight Paulo Costa.
Yeah, prove it. See, beat that top 5.
Exactly.
No, nothing to Chris Curtis, but you can't fight down and then call out a title shot.
Yeah, that's
that's true too, right? Yeah.
The only person who can do that is Islam Makhachev. Everybody knows
beat a guy ranked 8 spots lower than me who was fighting on how many days' notice? Short. He was fighting because Curtis took this a short notice too, right? Okay, it wasn't
four weeks maybe. That's still not a lot.
Yeah, it's not the best for your narrative. I think again, I don't blame any fighter for ever saying these things. I want that to be clear. I just think it's part of our job here to, separate what's just a good promo, what's just a fighter trying to get himself over, and what's the reality. And I don't think the reality is that we should be seeing him in a title shot, but keep calling him out, man. I do love the idea that they mentioned it a lot, that Allen is this rear naked choke specialist. And that did actually make for an exciting story throughout the fight, because there were several times where he would get Curtis down, get his back, and then not be able to do it. And so I am rooting to see Allen get another rear naked choke finish here in the future. Maybe we'll see him in a title shot. I don't think it'll be in the next couple of fights, though.
Definitely not. But, gentlemen, this weekend, UFC 300. We made it, guys. We made it. Let's give ourselves a little bit of a golf clap here. We made it. And I have a challenge for the two of you. So there are 3 little sections here. We got the early prelims, we got the prelims, and we got the main event. I'm going to ask you guys a trivia question at the start of each segment, and the winner will get a special prize from me the next time we work.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, let's go.
So, start off with the beginning, the early prelims, right? And because we're starting at the early prelims, we are going to start at the beginning. And gentlemen, November 12th, 1993, Day of Our Lord, the first UFC event happened. What state was it? Did this event occur? You got a 1 in 50 shot here, guys. Kev?
Damn it. Shit. I was going to say the city. Now I can't remember what state that's in. Damn it. Hang on. You'll have to come back to me unless Wade gets it.
I was going to say California.
It's a good guess, but no.
Oh, dang.
New Jersey.
Also a good guess, but no. I'll give you guys a hint. West of the Mississippi.
Oh.
New Mexico.
Not New Mexico. That's a good guess, though, too.
Yeah.
Damn, I don't know.
States where you can do basically anything, right?
Was it Nevada?
It was not Nevada.
Texas.
Damn.
Not Texas.
You can do anything. Texas, you can do anything.
Wyoming. There's like 8 people there.
The first bare knuckle fight was in Wyoming, but
there
not
we go.
The first MMA event.
That's something. I'm all out of. I only know.
Tell you're both pulled up maps of the U.S. right now.
I'm like, I don't know, man. Oregon. I'm just gonna start guessing states because I don't know who had a commission, who didn't have what back then. Hawaii.
Not Hawaii. Not Oregon.
Damn, Wade, get in here.
Good Lord. I feel like all the major cities that we said are major states.
There's one major city, not Utah.
Damn it, dude. This
one more major city that you guys haven't said yet.
Where'd they have it on the frickin' moon? Arizona. Did we
not
say that
Arizona?
I'm gonna start cussing.
Colorado.
Colorado. McNichols Arena, Denver, Colorado. November 12th, 1993.
Wow.
The Gracies got to put on their little jiu-jitsu showcase, essentially. So
I thought Gracie started in California because that's where all.
I think that's where they were based out of, but the
Yeah.
only state that they could get a license to do something like this in was Colorado.
Trailblazers.
Trailblazers. And speaking of Trailblazers, we are opening with a champ fight, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Ohio's own Cody Garbrandt welcomes Davison Figueiredo to the bantamweight division. Let's go, Cody.
I know. That's what I'm going, Cody, too.
Yeah, always going to root for the Ohio guy, but I also just don't like Davison Figueiredo.
I don't like him either.
You always had to worry about that dude like missing weight as a champ. Like, come on, man. Figure it out. Figure it out. I get that you're trying to make 125, but figure it out. But I am going Cody Garbrandt. Wade's going Cody Garbrandt. Kev, what you got for us?
What a roller coaster, Cody Garbrandt, man. When you think back on the history with that championship, he went from, as us wrestling fans would say, he went from babyface to heel real quick. And then he had his fall from grace. And then sort of, just by having that fall, he kind of gets the underdog persona. And now a lot of people may be rooting for him again. And count me in as one of those people. All right. I can't, like Clayton said, I can't go against an Ohio guy. There was a time I never would have guessed, like, oh, yeah, I'm pulling for Garbrandt in this fight. But here we are. So, joke's on you, Kev.
Don't call it a comeback.
That's right.
And then we have another veterans fight. Bobby King Green versus Jim effin' Miller. For those of you who don't know, Jim Miller wanted to be introduced by Bruce Buffer as Jim fucking Miller, but ESPN denied that. So they're not going to do that. What I'm hoping, and I've seen this on Twitter, I don't know if this is just like speculation or what, but I've seen on Twitter that he's going to go Jim and then pause so the entire crowd could go fucking and then go Mil, and then he'll finish with Miller. I hope that happens. I hope.
Guys, I hope that happens too. I hate to be that guy, but we're past 3 minutes, right? So I'm going to go ahead and say the word because we're all adults here. Why the fuck have a pay-per-view if your announcer can't say fuck on it? Don't get me wrong. If Mike Bennett, if you're watching this, don't get any ideas, pal. All right, we're not saying to do it every single time, but we're talking. This is UFC 300, man. Like if there was ever a time to just pull off a cool moment like that, it's on pay-per-view, man. If a couple of 10-year-olds hear the word fuck, like I think that that's you're buying a combat sport, a Carnage pay-per-view, man. What are you doing here? We can't say F words. That's crazy. But I love the pivot. I will give them that, Clayton. I think that was a great workaround. If they go that route, the crowd will say it anyway. So go ahead and let them have it.
And gentlemen, Jim Miller will be the only fighter in UFC history to compete on UFC 100, 200, 300. I saw a picture of him today going around doing media stuff in his UFC 100 jacket that they gave him.
Oh, wow.
Claims he has not worn it until this day. It just been sitting in his closet.
Ooh. Hey, if he can stay in shape, man, get to 400, that'd be pretty cool. That would be an accomplishment. This is kind of cool, but man, that 400 would be something, Jim.
How old is Jim Miller? Jim Miller's 40, and they're projecting UFC. They're projecting UFC 400 to be in like 2031. So what? Yoel Romero's 47 and figuring it out.
We got this.
Jim,
figure it out.
I hope you don't make it that far, to be completely honest. For your
He'll be the opener. He might slide down to the opening bout at that point.
But to move forward, another former champ, Jessica Andrade versus Marina Rodriguez. This is just, it's a women's strawweight fight. Give me Jessica Andrade. Why not? I still believe. I'm
going Jessica. She's just so explosive.
Yeah. And she's a little younger too, which is especially like as you get smaller, age starts to matter more. And like they're 115 pounds. I think that Jessica takes this one.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd love to be a contrarian, but not this time. I'm gonna go with Andrade on this one.
And then to close out the early prelims, we got Jalen Turner versus Renato Moicano. I believe is how you say that. Give me Jalen Turner. He literally destroyed Bobby Green's career in his last fight. He's my height and can make 155. So that's super fun to watch.
Whew, yeah. I'm gonna go Renato. I'm gonna go the upset here.
Okay.
Ooh, a little fun fact according to UFC.com. As far as these early prelims go, Jalen Turner, he's the second most favored to Figueiredo down there in the opening bout. So they seem to think he's going to take it. I kind of agree with Clayton's assessment here. Give me Jalen Turner for this one.
All right. And with that, we're going to close into the prelims about the middle of the pack. So I'm going to give you guys a middle of the pack trivia question. Gentlemen, the Ultimate Fighter saved the UFC, gave it the media exposure it needed to catch on. Who won the first season of the Ultimate Fighter?
Forrest Griffin.
Oh, nice.
Forrest Griffin, that is correct.
Oh yeah, I love.
Do you know who he beat? Do you know who he beat in the championship?
Oh my god.
I always get a mixed up. Not Chael Sonnen, but what? No, not Chael.
He kind of
What
looks like
was
Chael
it?
Sonnen.
Yeah, I know. I always get them mixed up,
Yeah.
and I can never remember
it's
his
on the
name.
tip of my tongue. Damn it! As soon as you say it, I'm gonna throw something. God
Use
damn
that
it.
Colts helmet behind you, Kev.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, just smash that. I forget.
Stephen Bonner.
Stephen Bonner.
Yeah. Forrest Griffin and Stephen Bonner single-handedly saved the UFC, and every MMA fan owes them a debt of gratitude. For sure.
Absolutely. I remember watching that first season.
Oh, I went back and watched it. Comedy gold, dude.
Dude, those first few, when they had alcohol, those seasons were
that's
wild,
what I was gonna
dude.
say.
Yeah. Just let me bang, bro. I do
like nowadays, like the guy, they're athletes. Like they're not in there drinking beer and smashing bottles. Like, no, these dudes had no idea what they were doing. And as soon as you're like had some downtime, there was nothing else to do in the house. So these dudes would just get wasted and start. Oh my god, it was so.
Oh
fun.
yeah.
Reality TV has taken a dive for sure.
Oh yeah,
for sure. This crap was comedy gold.
It was.
One of my favorite tough moments was during season 5 when like Nate Diaz and all them were on there.
Mm-hmm.
You guys just got drunk in the backyard, and like one of them like ended up. He tried to like throw up an armbar on his back on concrete. So the guy picked him up and slammed his head down, like the back of his head down on concrete.
Oh,
he stands up like, "Why'd you do that, man?" And they like cut away to the guy by himself, and he's like, "If you throw up an armbar on concrete, like, what do you think was gonna happen, dude?"
Stupid is what stupid does.
Yeah, man. You play games, win prizes.
I miss old tough. Anyway, Sadiq Youssef versus Diego Lopez. Guys, I'm not gonna lie, I don't really know a whole lot about these two fighters. This is one of the few fights where I really don't know anything about either guy.
Yeah, I don't know much about Youssef, but I watched Diego Lopez a couple of times, and he's on a tear, and I like him. I'm going Diego.
Is that why he's the favorite? Because it's interesting. He's Youssef is ranked and Lopez isn't, according to UFC.com. Yet Lopez is the favorite. I thought that was interesting, but sounds like Wade might be onto it there.
Okay, I do know who this Youssef guy is. He got beat by Edson Barbosa in a fight night last year. I think we worked that day because I'm pretty sure I was listening to it coming back from Fostoria. So. Obviously, he's facing some quality guys. Has another loss to Arnold Allen on there. I guess I'll fade Lopez. He doesn't really have any quality wins on his resume.
He doesn't, but he just looks really good, and I think he's a solid prospect, and I think that's where he'll take it. I think so.
Give me Youssef.
Calling it.
All right, Kev went with Youssef. Kev went with Youssef.
Let's go.
And guys, we have one of the most interesting MMA prospects in my time watching the sport, making her UFC debut at UFC 300. The judo specialist who once threw Murr from Impractical Jokers through a table, Kayla Harrison, making her UFC debut against the seasoned veteran, former boxing world champ turned MMA legend after she knocked out Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
Holly Holm. Fight night queen herself. It always seems like there's Holly Holm fight nights flying around. But
no odds on this one, guys, according to the website.
I have ESPN has Kayla at -450, which is wild because this fight's at 135. She fought at 155 in the PFL. Like, she's never cut weight that much.
Wow.
That's significant. That's a big weight cut.
Yeah, you would think theoretically that would have a big impact on energy level and also potentially approach. Like if you're fighting,
oh yeah, especially for a woman cutting that big. I mean, if she's fighting 155 and she's walking around there.
I doubt. Yeah, she never looked like she really cut that much weight when she was in the PFL.
Yeah,
but former 2-time Olympic judoist. Ring a bell. Anybody? Ronda Rousey, ring a bell.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, oh, I see what we got going on here. A little 2.0 action.
Despite the weight cut, I got to go with Kayla Harrison.
I believe Kayla's gonna win, but I'm hoping Holly Holm does.
I'm going Holly Holm. She's gonna put a second judo star just down a peg. She's gonna sneak knockout Kayla Harrison. Kayla will never see it coming from one of the most
left high kick KO to do it again.
Yeah, it might be a knee. Just pop. Never see it coming.
Guys, I'm looking at Holly Holm's record, and I saw this. I don't even remember where I saw this, but I remember seeing this. She has not won a title fight since beating Ronda Rousey, but the UFC keeps pushing her. Do you have any idea? Like, just think about how much money they've made off of that one head kick knockout.
That's so true. Yeah.
Just picture that, because she's fought. She beat Ronda Rousey in 2015. Has fought for 1, 2, 3, 4 titles since then. Came up short every time, but is still headlining fight nights at the age of 42.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
nuts.
She's got that much juice,
a lot of mileage out of that. Yeah,
yeah, that is nuts.
Yeah.
All due respect to Holly.
The crazy thing is, though, too, is she won against Ronda and then went on a 3-fight losing streak.
I would argue the biggest career blunder I've ever seen in MMA was her not waiting for Ronda for the rematch and fighting Miesha Tate.
Yeah,
that was not it, team. That was not good.
Yep, because she went on to lose to Miesha Tate, then Shevchenko, then how do you ever say her name? She just lost in the early prelims. Grimende, I don't know how to say her name.
Let me pull it up real quick. I just clicked off of it. Oh, Jermaine.
Yes, her.
Yeah.
And then she finally won one. Then lost to Cyborg. And then it was just up and down.
It's not like she's getting beat by people who like have no idea what they're doing, but like still that is crazy that they've gotten that much like marketing and promotion out of her out of one instance, basically.
Yeah.
Now they're going to duplicate it. She's going to get another one and be like, "Wow, look at her. She's any judoist kryptonite."
And gentlemen, moving forward, we have another champ switching weight classes, bumping up. Aljamain Sterling bumping up to featherweight. Finally, he was a giant.
Yeah, he was huge.
Jumping up to featherweight to take on seasoned vet Boston native Calvin Cater. Yeah, very interesting fight here. I'm interested to see what Aljo does with 10 extra pounds and not having to worry about like dying to make weight. Give me Aljo. I know I'm picking a lot of favorites, guys, but I think Calvin Cater is good, but like I think he's kind of on his way down. We watched him get like absolutely destroyed by Max Holloway over in Abu Dhabi. Picked up a win and then he's on a 2-fight losing streak. Lost a close one to Josh Emmett and I think he hurt his knee against Arnold Allen is what happens. I think he tore his ACL maybe. And he's 36, I think. So, like, he's not getting any younger. That's not me trying to disrespect Calvin Kattar, but time is undefeated, and I think that Aljo still has a little bit left in his clock.
Yep, I would agree.
Lock it in. Clayton said it well, so I won't add to it. But, yeah, give me Sterling in this one.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And in our featured prelim, you know what blows me away is that any of these prelim fights on any other card could very easily co-main a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
In my opinion, any of these fights could co-main a pay-per-view. But we got the Samurai Yuri Prohaska versus Alexander Rakic. I'm going with the dog. Give me Yuri. Seasoned vet, has a lot of experience, and at light heavyweight, like, you can have a lot of fight. Like, light heavyweight and heavyweight, you can have a lot of fights and be fine. Like, you don't see guys with like 40 pro fights normally fighting at like flyweight. Like, guys just don't last that long. You never see guys around that long. So give me Yuri. I think that his experience, and he's a little bit younger, his experience, his wildness and kind of uncontrolled approach to MMA. Give me Yuri.
Kev?
I am going to agree with Clayton on this one. Give me Yuri as well. And I agree with your earlier take. These are all there. This is a nice car. I mean, you would hope so, right? For 300, but damn, well done with this card.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
I'm gonna clean sweep it with Yuri. I feel like he's the type to take that one last loss to heart and go in and just do his stuff, come back strong.
Fair enough. And with that, gentlemen, we move into the pay-per-view portion. But before we do that, I have one more trivia question for you. Because this is the fight card of today, I'm going to give you guys a trivia question of today. There are 2 American champions in the Ultimate Fighting Championship right now. Name both.
2 American champions.
Men's and women's. There are 2 American champions.
But I got nothing.
Hold on, let me think there.
Think hard now. One of them fought not that long ago. And one of them is always in the news. Catch my drift?
John Jones.
John Jones is one.
Um,
We'll talk about that at some point.
Yeah.
I almost just don't even count him anymore at the time.
He still has the heavyweight belt.
So I was like,
Raquel.
What?
Pennington.
No, she is not American. I looked
She's
this up.
not. I always think she is. Well, okay.
Oh no, she is American. That's my fault. 3, I guess. I'll say 2 men's champions.
2 men's. Okay. Sean Strickland.
Not Sean Strickland.
Oh, no, he's
O'Malley.
not.
Sean O'Malley.
Yeah.
Right? That's what I was over here about. I was like, is O'Malley American? With that last name threw me. I was like, is he though?
Yeah.
You guys know what state he's from? It's super random.
I would say it's not Boston, huh?
Nope.
Oh.
He's from Montana.
Oh,
Montana.
Another place with like 18
Yeah, like,
people in it.
The most random state that a guy who looks and acts like Sean O'Malley would be from.
You would not get that vibe.
No, not at all. But yeah, with that, let's just dive in. There is a sacrifice of Cody Brundage to American wrestling sensation Bo Nickel. They have Bo Nickel at minus 2,500, guys.
Wow, that's even bigger
nuts.
than this one's showing me minus 21. I thought that was massive.
His hype is so
wild.
crazy. I mean, he's respectable. His wrestling is bar none, and people are so afraid of it because of it.
Dude, I'm putting $1 on Brundage though at those odds. You know?
Oh heck yeah, you gotta do something, man.
Yeah.
But I think that it's basically predetermined that Bo Nickel is going to murder and pummel Cody Brundage. But after that one, the champ is making his return, gentlemen. Charles Dubronx Oliveira versus Armin Sarukian, lightweight, what do we got, guys? We got an up-and-comer in Armin, and obviously Charles has been around forever, held the belt. Lightweight's kind of in an odd spot, too. It seems like the top 5 being guys like Oliveira, Gaethje, Poirier just won't go away. Like, and Michael Chandler is still there somehow, too. Like, that core group of guys just won't go away. Like, they try and push prospects. A great example of that would just be Bentois Saint Denis when he fought Dustin Poirier like a month ago. Knocked out, not moving. When Justin Gaethje fought Rafael Fiziev, beat him up, not moving forward. The guy that Bobby Green just knocked out, Grant Dawson, they're trying to push him forward. Bobby Green knocked him out like 30 seconds into the first round. Is this the time where a prospect finally breaks through? No, it's not. Give me Charles Oliveira. I'm not. Not happening. Not happening. Bro dyed his hair blonde and hasn't been the same since.
It's so true. Yeah, give me Charles.
Damn, it's going to be a clean sweep again, fellas. No, I'm with you, Clayton. I think give me Charles. I think this is going to be a great fight, though. But if I was putting money on it, it would be on Oliveira.
Yep.
Fair enough.
Oliveira by submission.
And then moving forward, gentlemen, the MMA gods blessed us with arguably the greatest fight I've ever seen on paper. We got the highlight, Justin Gaethje versus Max Blessed Holloway. Did you guys see the custom shorts that they busted out for both of them yesterday? Max got florals and Justin Gaethje got American flag shorts. That's badass, first and foremost. And that's what you need for a BMF title fight. Max's first fight at lightweight since jumping up to try and beat Dustin Poirier for the interim. Guys, what do we have? These are literally my 2 favorite fighters. These are my top 2 favorite fighters.
It's ridiculous.
Brutal one to have to pick, huh?
Awful. Absolutely awful.
I'll break the ice here and start this one.
Go for it.
Unfortunately, for his sake, I believe that Max Holloway will be blessed with a knockout from Gaethje. Gaethje by KO in this one.
Hot take.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Wade, what you got for us?
I know, but I can't bet against my boy Max. I gotta just ride with him. I gotta ride with Max.
I respect it. I really do. But Kev, I'm going with you, brother. I just don't see a world that Max Holloway can handle the leg kicks of Justin Gaethje. That I've never, pound for pound, he might have the hardest leg kicks in the sport. I would argue.
Yeah.
No one who might be close is fighting in the main event. So I say this through gritted teeth and with a heavy heart. Justin Gaethje. Oh God, that hurt.
It's not that I don't even like Justin Gaethje too. I love Justin Gaethje, but man,
it hurts.
It does.
It hurts so bad.
I think Max, if he levels up his footwork game, he can limit the damage of those leg kicks and allow his boxing to shine. So that's my analysis. Hot take.
And then moving forward, we got the first real title fight of the evening, strawweight fight, Zhang Weili versus Yan Xiaonan. I butchered that. I'm so sorry. I saw a video of Zhang Weili picking up Francis Ngannou one time, so yeah. I'm going with her. Under no circumstances am I picking against her.
Retweet. I haven't seen that clip, but I'll believe you. And if that's
it's worth a YouTube, ladies and gentlemen.
It is crazy.
My God.
And that's why I'm going with Weili too. So because her power is bar none. And I mean, Yan's she's really good. She's a first Chinese woman to fight in the octagon. So it's kind of a historical moment for China. I'm not even say kind of, it is.
Yeah, right. To have them both in this fight, that'll be pretty huge. But yeah, I think if based on that strength alone, I gotta bank on the champ retaining here, right?
I think so. And then, gentlemen, we have made it to the main event. Alex Poatan Pereira putting his light heavyweight title on the line against Jamal Sweet Dreams Hill. Gentlemen, I know we said we were done with trivia, but here's another freebie. Do you guys know the only man ever to beat Jamal Hill?
Can't remember his name. Can't remember his name, but dude broke Jamal Hill's arm.
Yeah.
I know that.
I don't remember either.
Think about it. Who at light heavyweight and middleweight has a good enough guard to break somebody's arm like that? Quentin Richards is punching the air right now, if you guys don't know this.
I don't know.
Paul Craig.
Paul Craig
is the only man to beat Jamal Hill.
Yep. Yeah, he had that arm bar.
That was gross.
Jamal Hill was just letting it. I watched it pop, and I'm like, he's not going to tap. He kept going. The ref had to stop it and be like, "Yeah,
you're done. You're done."
He like lets his arm like flop, and
he was nasty. He was like holding it off to the side, like no.
Been there.
But gentlemen, I do not see a world where Jamal Hill outstrikes Alex Pereira. I gotta go with Alex Pereira, no matter what.
Yep, I'm going Alex Pereira. I think Jamal Hill's a puncher's chance, which he does have a chance. He's got heavy power, but technique, skill-wise, Alex Pereira all day.
Yeah, I'm going to go with you guys here. No big hot take for me on this one. Jamal Hill is unfortunately not going to have enough. And I don't think this one goes the distance either. So give me the champ with some kind of stoppage. Probably a knockout TK override. I don't think it's going to be a submission, but
yeah. And he's coming off an Achilles tear too.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't even see that. Athletes coming back from Achilles tear in football, you see how much it hurts their movement and their explosiveness. So,
yep.
I guess,
guys,
we'll see.
I've seen that Jamal Hill's coaches have been like, well, he's going to put on a striking clinic and show Alex Pereira how to strike.
Oh,
no, he's not. No, he's not.
No.
Like, that's not going to happen. And as fun as it would be to watch Jamal Hill win, because I think if they do, the UFC will come back to Detroit, and then we can, like I said, steal Zach's credit card and we can go.
Yep.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm not picking against Alex Pereira. It's not happening.
Yeah, his kickboxing is bar none the best at that weight class.
Yeah, it would have to be some kind of just like it's not this matchup for me, you know. I mean, there maybe is a type of fighter I'd be like, all right, maybe, but I don't not here, not today. Give me Alex to take this one down. So yeah, I guess I didn't make too many upsets either on my end. So, but you know, people are favorites for a reason, right?
Exactly. But what I do hope is that Jamal Hill's chin holds up a little bit and we get a
bloody war. That'd be fun.
Yeah, I would love to. Yeah, hopefully we at least get a few rounds. You know, I mean, it's freaking UFC 300. Could you imagine if it ends in the 35 seconds? How disappointing that's going to be.
But gentlemen, I have 3 more things to hit on the UFC before we moved into WrestleMania this weekend. Number 1, there are 13 fights on this card. That means there's 26 fighters, and all 26 of them will be at the press conference tomorrow. The UFC has brought back big press conferences. That's going to be so much fun. I'm so excited. So that'll be good. The rumor is that tomorrow, McGregor Chandler will be officially announced to headline UFC 303 International Fight Week out in Vegas. Hopefully that fight actually comes together and they didn't just waste an entire season of The Ultimate Fighter for no reason.
Right.
And third and final, John Jones is in trouble with the law once again.
What?
Crazy.
No way, dude.
Crazy. Who'd have thunk it?
I feel shocked.
Like, apparently he threatened an anti, I don't know I keep forgetting what the UFC calls it. It's like the UFC anti-doping person that showed up to his house, like threatened her, took her phone, stuff like that, was like yelling at her. Come on, dude. Like, relax a little bit here. You have John Jones is the greatest mixed martial artist in history and is arguably the worst person in the history of mixed martial arts.
It's
like,
so
why did that have to
infuriating.
Why did we have to get that?
Like, why can't you be GSP? GSP was awesome.
Right?
Showed up to press conferences in suits, was a professional through and through. You have like DUI arrests and stuff like that.
Hit and runs. Like,
hit and run. Come on, dude.
Oh, man.
Getting busted for cocaine of all things. Like, listen, something that notoriously doesn't stay in your bloodstream for very long. So just like really, really dumb, easily avoidable mistakes that this guy's made time and time again. We were talking about a guy who got drunk and harassed a local comedian in LA who had like an audience of 12 people. I don't even know how the hell John Jones is at a Deaf Noodles comedy show, but here he is roasting this dude, like picking a fight with a comedian of all people.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, when does it stop? And not to mention those Cormier fights he cost us. All right. That's what I'm most upset about, because I think that question didn't really need to be answered, but now we'll never get to really answer it, will we?
We'll never know. We literally will never know. Shout out John Jones for stalling out heavyweight probably again. Tom Aspinall they created an interim belt for no reason. They're chasing Stipe Miocic money for no reason. Heavyweight's in shambles and we need to move on. So Kev, WrestleMania, what do you have for us, sir? A lot of good stuff. Saw The Rock in there. Let's get after it.
Oh, yes. It is time for the Wrestling Minute, guys. There is a ton. So I will try to do my best to keep it brief and only focus on some of the major talking points. But you did mention The Rock made an appearance on both nights. So we're going to make that sort of the main event. I'll talk about some of the lesser instances that happened early on. One of those being Logan Paul retaining his United States championship, which we all probably imagined. Another thing you guys may not have seen, the Prime logo was in the middle of the ring for all of WrestleMania, both nights of WrestleMania. Gotta love that.
So funny. So funny.
It's going to be really funny in 5 to 6 years when they have to blur that the way they're I mean, I'm not saying he's doing Vince McMahon things, but I am saying the dude has the list of controversies that both Paul brothers have is it's like that Jericho meme, the list of 1,004 holds. It's just like it rolls endlessly to the floor. This is a guy that does not learn from his mistakes. He just throws money at them, and inevitably it's going to blow up in his face, and it's going to blow up in the faces of everyone who chooses to do business with him. I get it. He's a main line into the youth, which is why, that's why you're seeing a bunch of streamers now. If you guys probably don't know who I Show Speed is. It's unfortunate that I do. But he's now a prime athlete and was in WrestleMania as a prime bottle. So all of that stuff happened. That was interesting to say the least. But CM Punk is looking healthy again. He actually came into play, and he was doing commentary for a match, and then after the match actually took his arm brace off and attacked Drew McIntyre and showed up actually the following night on Raw. So I think we may be getting a CM Punk return while we're talking about him, guys. This is hilarious. Not exactly WrestleMania related, but we all know Ariel Helwani, our dear friend, right? Our parasocial friend. Neither of us know him, but we all appreciate the work that he does in the MMA Hour. Some might even say the Wrestling Minute is a parody of the MMA Hour, but I wouldn't know who to confirm that with. But Ariel Helwani had CM Punk on. I don't know if you guys saw this. Leading up to WrestleMania, Ariel had a lot of WWE athletes come on. They even worked an angle. They even had Becky Lynch come and attack Rhea Ripley on Ariel's show. Ariel's a huge wrestling fan too. So all that stuff was pretty cool. But CM Punk, while he was there, talked about all of his time at AEW, the whole reason he ended up quitting or being fired or whatever. And it just so happens that during WrestleMania, AEW announced that they are probably while we speak right now, maybe right around 9 o'clock, they are going to be showing the footage from CM Punk's last day at work. So I just can't imagine, like, how down bad are you as a company when one of the, like, the number 5 guy over at the WWE is going to be your top draw tonight. The guy that you fired, you're going to show footage of him. They can't mention him by name legally, I'm pretty sure, due to an NDA, but they're going to show some footage. So it just kind of shows you the state of both companies. But to bring it back to the WWE, for all the fans, this was a big night of storylines. The Intercontinental Champion was defeated after a very apocalyptic. This was scary. And the day before a solar eclipse, and a guy loses his title after a 666-day run, guys, that made me a little nervous. Thought maybe the old Illuminati might have gotten involved in wrestling, but we're here. We made it. We're on the other side of that eclipse. So a couple of new champs in Sami Zayn and Bayley, but the biggest story and the biggest new champ, because we're not going to talk about that bullshit tag team match, was Cody Rhodes. We will talk about the good tag team match, which was The Rock, Roman Reigns versus Cody and Seth Rollins. Of course, you guys, I'll ask you, do you care to guess? Do you think The Rock won or lost the match that he was involved in?
I think he won.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, absolutely.
I think he won too.
Yeah, he won. Of course. I think we all probably thought he was going to win, right? As soon as he was in it, like
absolutely.
Bring back after 10 years to lose.
The Rock gonna come back just to lose? No way.
Just so anticlimactic. I'm not gonna lie.
Which was hilarious. And they had the Hall of Fame the night before, and Muhammad Ali's wife presented The Rock with the People's Championship, a new belt that 100% The Rock paid to have made, and probably paid Muhammad's wife to go up there and hand it to him. And now he comes out with this custom made belt that means nothing. All right, guys. So AEW fans, notice how fair and balanced I'm being. Okay, it's not just you guys that make fun of. This was really dumb. The Rock comes out. He's involved in the World Heavyweight Championship, the biggest title the company has. And he comes out with his fake, like as if he's one of the dudes in the front row who just paid $600 to have a custom belt made. No knock to those dudes. Spend your money how you want. But it just felt really weird for The Rock to come in carrying this make-believe made-up belt that he didn't have to beat anybody for. But to keep the story interesting, it was The Rock who pinned Cody Rhodes at the end of night 1, which meant that the main event for night 2, guys, was no rules, anything goes, no disqualifications, which we as wrestling fans all knew meant we were going to get a goddamn charcuterie board of the nostalgia. Every retired wrestler that still has any cartilage in his knees was going to be back for the WrestleMania main event. Well, all but Stone Cold Steve Austin, that is, apparently. But guys, this thing, it was a fun match. If it were any other night, and if it weren't after a 2-year story being built up, I might have said it was overbooked and a little bit ridiculous. But it being the 40th WrestleMania, it was kind of pretty nice to see John Cena and then The Undertaker come out. So John Cena came out to make a save. The Rock came out, of course, beat the shit out of John Cena. And then boom, and all the lights go black and people start losing their shit.
Only one person who it could be. Only one person.
And it was great. The old man is able. Then The Rock, props to The Rock. You can tell he's been working out over these months while they were doing this, because he sold his ass off for that choke slam. The lights go back out, and there's actually fan footage of. It's become a meme now. The footage of The Undertaker running back to the tunnel, because he's just such an old man. Poor guy, doesn't have any knees, but he's running on 2x4s at this point. But yeah, so Cody Rhodes gets the win. Big moment. All the fans come out, and it was great. I mean, on a later date when I have time, I will sit and just talk about the nuance of it. They referenced storylines from like all the way back in 2014. It was one of Roman's old Shield teammates that cost Seth Rollins, that inevitably cost. Like, it was great storytelling. The kind of stuff that, for all the stuff you can laugh at wrestling fans, be like, dude, this is dumb. It was one of those where you're like, wow, this is one of those moments where, like, dude, see, this is why we watch it, because it does have its cool moments. It does have its cool stories. But overall, a successful WrestleMania because of the main event, but a lot of the matches I thought were not great, guys. So I am happy that we got to finish the story, but even happier that The Rock beat the guy who went on to be the champion the very next night. So although The Rock is now officially tapped out, he's back in Hollywood for the time being. He made sure to come out and remind our new champion that The Rock beat him the night before. So, guys, most signs are pointing to we will see The Rock in Saudi Arabia soon, probably doing one of those special built pay-per-views they do out there. Those are always one of the big money shows. So there it was, WrestleMania, the Wrestling Minute. Got us to an hour, by the way. Hell yeah, it's good to be back. Love that. Any final thoughts? Any questions about the show? Did you guys catch any of the memes or highlights or anything on Twitter or social media?
I caught a couple like glimpses, but I don't think this was at WrestleMania 40. I wanted to ask your opinion on it. Is I saw The Rock, I think he posted it on his social media about there's like, I think he was doing it to Cody Rhodes where he's whipping him with a belt and then he's like yelling at the camera people, "Don't you turn off that camera."
Yeah, because the guy says cut, and he's like, "Shut your damn mouth."
What do you think of that? Do you think that was like
over?
Too much?
So it's interesting. I thought that little bit particularly was fine. I thought it was kind of cool. When you add it to everything else The Rock did for the last 2 months, it was kind of a little too much. Fans and allegedly certain wrestlers behind the scenes were getting frustrated because The Rock was running over time on almost every segment that he was doing, because you could kind of tell like he repeats himself a little bit. You can tell that The Rock has kind of forgotten how to promo. I mean, back when he was feuding with John Cena, I remember that they had real heat because John pointed out that The Rock had his promo notes sharpied on his wrist, and he called him out on national television. And that started real bad blood between the two of them that took a while to smooth out. So it's no secret that The Rock can't really like remember what to say, which is hilarious because he's the probably highest paid
Hollywood
actor of all time, and he can't memorize 5 lines for a wrestling promo, or he does by just repeating it. Like, "You walking clown emoji, you walking clown trash, you emoji." It's like, yeah, bro, you just said that. It's like you can tell he's repeating a line because he can't remember what the next line will be. So I like that he's self-aware enough when these things happen. He gets called out on social media. Yeah, either he pays attention or someone on his team, more likely, pays attention and kind of can help guide him in a way of leaning into it. And I think that's what that was, where it was sort of like trying so much in a world where everyone knows wrestling is fake. That whole kayfabe thing is still the sweet spot. If you can kind of blur that line. Now, obviously, we all knew that, it was still just part of the show. But I think it was a good commitment to the bit, right? To have that extra footage where it's like, "You don't tell me what to do, cameraman." Because his whole character is he's the evil boss, right? They've leaned into it because of what really happened. He forced his way into WrestleMania. The fans called him out on it. So they said, yeah, okay. Just like in the 90s when they found out wrestling was fake because Bret Hart told them. Like, "Oh, I wasn't supposed to lose tonight. They screwed me." And Vince McMahon created the Mr. McMahon character. I know, I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to say that name. He's a hideous person. He deserves to be locked under the prison. But he still came up with the Mr. McMahon character and turned it into the hottest period wrestling ever had, based off of something that got out of the company's control. I think this was a similar situation. People rebuked The Rock. They spit him out, said, "We do not fucking want your old ass here to ruin our WrestleMania." So they pivoted and they said, "Oh, you're going to go back to being the bad guy, and your heel character is you're the CEO of the company." Every show he was calling the towns crackheads. He was flaunting his wealth. He was coming out in $1 million shirts and stuff, and he just rolled it. He went with it, and they turned it into something good, even though it looked really, really bad when it first came out. So, I mean, props to them for taking chicken shit and turning it into chicken salad, which is what CM Punk meant to say. His best quote, talking to Ariel Helwani, "I take chicken salad and turn it into chicken shit, and I always will." Great quote.
You said that. Oh,
yeah,
man.
CM Punk said that on the MMA Hour. It was
Lord. He just digs himself in a hole.
every time. So yeah, no, Wade, I loved his commitment to the bit. We'll see him again soon after he films a couple movies. And you know what? Last little bit, at least Wade, for you and the other nostalgia fans, John Cena has been quoted as saying after he finishes his current filming that he would like to sometime around Christmas next year have one last WWE run. I will believe that when the money dries up. But hey, John Cena's coming back apparently in 2025. So we have that to look forward to. One day wrestling's going to run out of old dudes to bring out of retirement, and it'll be interesting to see what happens then.
Although John Cena, I think, he's a great actor. So he remembers his lines and he plays it off really well.
And one of the best promos ever to do it, right? Like, and that's why he is a decent actor, because for so many of those years, that was before they had all the writers, and you would build a character and you'd be given talking points and be like, go out in front of that crowd and get your message across. And they would do it poorly until in front of local audiences until they could do it well. And so he's much better. And that's the positive. He only ever had 5 moves. That was always the knock on John Cena, the 5 moves of doom. But that makes life a lot easier when you're 55 and all you have to do is the same 5 moves.
Yeah.
So there we have it, fellas. Thank you as always for obliging me, being hospitable during the wrestling minute. Shout out to you wrestling fans out there in the audience.
I do have one more thing before we go around and announce socials. This just broke on social media.
Ooh.
Gentlemen, not confirmed by the UFC yet, but Sean Strickland has agreed to fight Paulo Costa at UFC 302 in New Jersey next year. The People's Champ making his return. Nice. Sean,
yeah.
You already know that, like, Paulo Costa's got a giant ego too. Like, this is good. This is gonna be great. I'm so excited. Sean Strickland tweeted out that the UFC said that they were willing to give him more money, basically. So we'll see if there's an announcement in the coming days.
Interesting. That's gonna be a barn burner. I think they're gonna.
Yes.
Paulo Costa's gonna not want to wrestle as much because he wants to show that he has leveled up his boxing.
Yep.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a good one.
Oh yeah, I'm excited.
Let's hope that's official.
Well worth it. Thank you for breaking that news to us, Clayton. That's a huge high note to end the show on for sure.
All right, gentlemen, I believe that is a podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for tuning in to this episode here tonight. Wade, where can the people find you?
Absolutely. Carnage Media PPV on all socials. We just hit 400 on YouTube. Thank you all who supported. And if you want to check out some videos, all of our past fights that we've covered, they're on there. Thank you so much for supporting us and the people that continue to support us. Obviously, any new people, Carnage Media PPV on all socials. Check us out. Kev?
That's right. That's right. And while you're there, maybe check out Bite Size Sports. It's just Bite Size Sports on most socials, but Twitter just refuses to purge accounts that haven't been active since 2011. So on Twitter, we are at @bite_size sports. Shout out to Elon Musk. Also, you can find me Wednesday nights right after this program around 9:15 talking about Star Wars on Han Shot First. Tonight, we're talking about the most recent episode of The Bad Batch. So if you are a nerd like me, check out Dweeb. That's Dweeb with 2 D's in the front of it. And of course, Sunday nights and Tuesday nights, you can find me on the Clout Route with Danny. Clout Route presents on YouTube. And then Bite Size Sports, baby. Thursday nights, we talk NBA. Find us on bitesizesports.com to see all of our other articles, podcasts, live streams, all that good stuff. And Clayton, what about you, sir? Where can the good folks at home find you?
You guys can find my personal social medias at cscalina12 on Instagram and Twitter. And make sure to follow my podcast, the Hot Take Sports Podcast, at Hot Take Sports 16 on all of your social medias. And with that, gentlemen, I think that is an episode. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you all for tuning in. Please pay attention for this short message from our sponsors, and we will see you all next time.
Are you looking for an energy boost without the jitters? Let our friends at Dubby Energy help you with their fantastic selection of flavors. Just visit www.dubby.gg and use the code BITESIZESPORTS at checkout for 10% off your order total. Again, that is www.dubby.gg. Code BITESIZESPORTS.